Hello again. In this video, we will introduce you to the concept of computer networks using easy-to-understand examples. You will realize that we live surrounded by networks of all kinds, which are not so different. Computer networks are just one more kind of network.
But first, let's talk about networks. So you know that we all use networks, even if we are not engineers or technical people. Even if you live in plain nature or wherever you are, we all use networks. We are not just referring to the internet network. There are networks everywhere, much older than us. For example, 2000 years ago, the Romans built the vast road network system in Europe and beyond. In the end, a network connects cities and other places where cars, trucks, bicycles, and pedestrians move along. Those ancient networks keep the same features and characteristics as any more modern network. Railway networks are a more recent example, at the oldest only 200 years old. These are physical infrastructure with stations, railways, and signaling systems providing paths and transport facilities throughout the country and beyond. A third example of a network is the electrical grid, which is much younger than the previous ones. This network connects producers and consumers of electricity using cables, starting from the generating plants, going to the distribution stations, and reaching every single home to supply energy. Postal services are also based on a vast delivery network. Here we deal with communication services quite close to the ones delivered by the internet. Letters and packets are delivered by companies from the senders connected to the network to the recipients. In networking, we use the same word, packet, to define a piece of information transported and delivered over the internet, also known as the network of networks. This example is quite good. If you decide to buy a large product by mail, such as a garden shed, that does not fit into a package, the delivery is done in a set of smaller packages that you must reassemble at your destination, following the user manual instructions. Hopefully, you will get your garden shed as you saw it in the catalog, unless any packages are missing. If so, you will need to claim for it. This is an excellent example of how networks and protocols work to deliver the information you ordered via the internet, for example, this video, fragmented into smaller packets to make it easier to transport. Losses can also happen on the internet. Here the protocols react. They claim on your behalf the missing parts to rebuild the original information. Again, this is one of the fundamental characteristics of computer networks. Recalling the previous example, it is pretty common that the data to be transported is way too large to be sent in just one go and needs some kind of treatment. Just think about the picture from the camera on your smartphone. You can easily check how large the size is. That size, probably some megabytes, is really huge. When we first started with computers in the late 70s or early 80s, the capacity of a regular hard disk was around 30 megabytes. So today, perhaps you would hardly fit even 15 digital photos on it. Over the last few decades, computer technology has expanded, following Moore's law, doubling its capacity every year and a half. Amazing, isn't it? The internet is quite old. It was created in the 70s, and nobody expected the massive increase in digital information. For sending information of any size, the technique of fragmentation, also called packetization, is effective and widely extended. So the information, imagine one photo, is cut into smaller packets on the sender side. Those packets are sent individually over the network. That is one by one. And then On the receiver side, all packets need to be put back together to reconstruct the original information, that is, the photograph. The process of fragmenting, sending one by one, reassembling and many others happen in a fraction of a second. We as the user perceive it as if it happens immediately. The network ensures that those processes work properly and communication flows. To be more precise, the responsibility lies within the network protocols. We will discuss the protocol concept and how it works in the following video. See you there!